All right, ambush the game. So y'all might ask yourself, well, why Vic talking first and Chris ain't talking? Cause I'm being the pilot. So I had a subject and I want to bring it up. One of the biggest things that's going on, because we did speak on podcasts time again, and one of the newer ones that will be coming out about leadership with the black people. So when we got down to somewhat of the root of the subject, one of the biggest things was the black community. And with that being the case, we have still, even in 2024, in times past, struggle with women and men in the black community of getting together with black women are looking for and what they say they require. And black men, to a certain degree, except for social media, I think we kind of throw some words back here and there about what we want and what we, think about the women and some of their requirements. And we kind of still keep it low because it's kind of somewhat frowned upon for men to be too, I guess, bitchy or complaining or pointing out things, because we constantly have to try to cater to the women, because if you don't, they'll try to get you canceled. Sometimes silly shit happens, like one of the cute little women will get on the plane on the international flight, international airline, and she's supposed to be working, but then she end up getting fired for twerking. So some kind of way, even with that woman, and I'm going to relate it back to the relationships and people, there's a lack of accountability because she believes that she should have been able to express herself. So that's just one subject. So when we get back to us, the men are not talking or standing up or doing enough to make women understand we need each other. There's no way around it. And sometimes I think women get away with it because some guys are going to give them attention no matter what. It doesn't matter how they look. It doesn't matter what they doing with their life. It doesn't matter how many children they got. Brother coming for one thing and a woman believe I got it like that. And they don't never hardly ever tell the truth that, okay, I had a guy, he came around, he was around for X amount of months or years, and then we fell off. And then I did it again, and then I did it again, then I did it again. I may have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 children. So what am I doing wrong? This is where accountability come in. Even with men, on one side, they're out here just trying to, what we use now in the new age or the modern age, is clapping cheeks. So if you're just, it's clapping cheeks. So when it all said and done, brothers may ask themselves, what am I doing wrong? Why don't I have a family? Why am I just a baby daddy? Because you keep thinking about just sex, and then you have to also, just like the women, be accountable for some of the things you're doing. There's no way in hell in this world that you can do certain things with anybody other than yourself, and you can just keep blaming shit on them. You play a part also. So with that being my little spiel right there, we're going to get into what I would believe will help black men and black women focus more on being together than the constant I can do bad by myself. Got in the ad, Chris?
So I got to go back to the beginning.
Okay. You need to get, you already took it. It's finna be crazy.
I'm just thinking, man. You said she was in the air twerking?
Yeah. Yeah, she got an opportunity to post her phone up. She did a little couple of moves, being cute and shit, and she wasn't a bad looking chick. But the thing was, however old she was, it just seemed like if you know social media and you've been on it, you should have, which we mentioned before, it doesn't matter your age. It matters your experience.
Was she on Spirit?
No, she was on the international airline, man, which is even worse. You know what I'm saying? You got a great opportunity and probably a decent job, and you got your ass on there like Intercom and Hoochie Mama, twerking your ass because you got the chance, and you surprised why you got fired. She posted that shit like it was okay.
Oh man, I'm so tickled because I'm just trying to see you over the Atlantic.
It wasn't nobody on the plane. It was like during the time when, maybe before they loaded up, because you ain't seen nobody in the video but her on the plane.
All right, so the plane was still on the ground. They hadn't took off yet. Okay.
Yes.
Shit, I was about to be like, I won't see that up in the air twerking, the 30,000 feet. Twerking that thing out.
She'll fuck around and hit some turbulence and bust her head upside the ceiling or some shit. Yeah.
Okay, so you gave us that example to say what? If she had a guy, then that maybe that video or that incident and her losing her job wouldn't have happened?
No.
Okay, so
I'm
what
just
you saying?
as grown people, we should at some point start realizing that there's reasons why things are not working out for us, and take accountability not for everybody else that you can say that's doing something wrong. What in the fuck is you doing? That's what you keep on missing. How in the fuck you live? You was at one time 10, then 20, then 30, and then 40. You ain't did shit. You always just the victim. How is that possible?
So, you're... Okay, I get it now. She should take ownership and say, you know what? I knew better than to be up in these folk plane twerking while I'm at work. I could have made this video at home on my...
That's right. She could have made that at
clothes.
home. She could have made it down the street. She could have went to a goddamn river in some kind of landscape that was beautiful and twerked her ass off. But we keep believing
She in uniform.
on the plane with her fucking name tag on, most likely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just didn't give a fuck. You just don't want to do what you want to do, and sometimes that comes with consequences.
Yes. And again, we talk about this a lot, and I'm gonna say it again. Man, these phones and social media, man, you can't help yourself. You got to go live, man. I'm telling you, it wasn't as bad. It's like it doubled or tripled when the live button got added.
That's right.
And you can make a video. Oh man, it's crazy.
I could probably say this to just like people. How many people have been at their job and didn't like something and waited till they left their job and bitched like a motherfucker and then went back to that motherfucker the next day like that shit didn't even happen?
Most people.
Because you ain't trying to get fired.
Yeah. Consequences. You know if you say
that's right.
it. Yeah. But now, but let me go back.
Okay.
There's people that left their job, got in their car, and started a video complaining about their job, still in uniform, and got fired too.
Before they got home. Oh, they got to Walmart to pick up some eggs for dinner or whatever the fuck they was at Walmart.
Maybe not eggs.
The job called, I'm gonna say some chicken. Okay. Y'all stop being racist. But look, before they got home with the fucking bags from Walmart, the job called them. Mm-hmm. Say, hey, we heard you talking shit about us.
You know they
in
what
the
they
company.
said?
Yeah.
This what they said. You remember that on that movie he said, we got him. We fucking got him.
Hey Denise, how you doing? Yeah, we know you just left work. We just don't need you to come back tomorrow.
Yeah. We seen your video. We seen where you went live. Okay,
Yeah.
so responsibility, that's your takeaway from all of this stuff right here.
Accountability and responsibility will change the dynamics of how you deal with relationships moving forward, where you, even in experience with relationships, if you've been in bad relationships, you've been in good ones and it didn't work out, at some point you learning things or should be picking up on things. You should get better at anything that you do more than once.
Okay, but that's you talk now. Okay, I can separate these two. That's work and repetition. You getting better because you're doing it.
That's
what
right.
you're talking about is life experiences. You should learn
And-
over
Yes.
being here in the workplace.
Should
or
learn.
being in social environments, how to
Yes.
behave yourself, and that if you get out of line, there are consequences to you getting out of line.
That's right.
If you go in a restaurant and order and don't pay and decide y'all gonna run out, yeah, you did. You tried that shit at Captain D's when you was 15.
Yeah.
You may have gotten away with it then, but at 36, that shouldn't even be a consideration.
It shouldn't be. Else you shouldn't have even went to Captain D's or Burger King or goddamn Wingstop, wherever. You should be nowhere where you don't understand that you have to pay for the shit that you want.
Now, how does this all tie into relationships? Are you saying then that if they had a better sense, a better understanding of how life works, this would lead them to pick a better mate?
That's right.
Man.
Yep. See, when you get the guy, and I can say this for men and women, when guys get the woman that got the big ass or she cute or whatever, guys pick the women on, I can basically only speak for myself because I think some guys just want ass, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably overall. But women, they look for a guy who's supposed to be nice. They look for a guy who wants to be responsible, a guy who don't mind getting up, going to work. So they have more things that they look for in a relationship. Some guys will get in a relationship because they just want to keep up with the pussy. It was okay and they all right, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they don't get opportunities every weekend, you know what I'm saying?
So then the guy, he's not. Are you saying that he's not as much on the hook because his default as a man or male is just to procreate?
I wouldn't say procreate. I think he just want to play. You know what I'm saying? He just want to hit something. And sometimes guys, after they get past that, and it's not in every case, some guys are 100% on what they looking for. You know what I'm saying? But I think a big majority of us guys will go out, run into a chick, just so happen to get what you want, or either just like her for whatever reason. You don't know too much about it. You doing what all of us do, and it's hard for women to understand this. Men take chances on relationships just as well as women do.
Okay, let me ask a bad question here.
Ask a bad question.
This is a bad question.
Okay.
It's a terrible question. Two 20-year-olds, guy and girl, meet at a function. They both find each other attractive, therefore they exchange numbers and they start to date. Within 2 weeks, they fucking. All right, they fucking hard. By 6 months in, she pregnant.
Oh shit!
That nigga start laughing.
Yeah, cause she said fucking hard. Like, if I ain't like you so much, it was gonna be soft.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
They doing it on the regular.
They busting it out.
They getting it in.
Cause they probably had a break in between whatever relationships.
Whatever the case was, or
Yeah.
else they find each other super attractive and the sex
get
is
it on.
Yeah, and the sex is great.
Yeah.
But in that 6 months of 5 months and 2 weeks of them being sexually active, the thought of using any protection from either side never came up.
Yeah.
She comes up pregnant. Who's responsible? Who's more responsible? Is any one of them more responsible than the other one? Or
My funny answer is Maury is motherfucking responsible.
the guy?
Maury.
More responsible.
It's all his motherfucking fault. but realistically, who's responsible is both of them equally.
Okay. That's the right answer. Okay. So now if you talk about responsibility, there's or accountability.
Mm-hmm.
If both of them acknowledged that they never had the discussion,
Mm-hmm.
and she's pregnant, shouldn't she have that same energy when it comes down to not putting him on child support? Because you didn't mention it either.
That's true, but unfortunately, women have a up on that because it's their decision solely. It's not the guy decision. So once the guy don't have any rights on if he's going to be on child support or not, he has to suffer the consequences of the responsibility that he should have been thinking about before he end up, knocking boots with her or fucking hard. And
so then that would mean that it's probably more of his responsibility to make sure so he don't wind up in that situation. Now,
that's true.
What if he was okay? Now, he didn't say anything about no abortion or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
He understands that they have a relationship and the baby is on the way.
That's right.
All right. Everything will be cool as long as they stay together. But you and I both know, that's why I used to age 20,
Yes.
that the young relationships never make it.
Yeah.
The majority of them never make it.
That's right.
Because the way you think at 20 is not the same way you're going to think at 30.
No.
Okay, so now you got a baby daddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the feelings for him go away, and now you're being more vindictive. I got the child. I'm the one that got to do the X, Y, and Z, so you get to go out and go live your life, so I'm going to make you pay.
So you said it should have been more on him because of the fact of the child support. It should have been more on her because now you got to force somebody to help you with this child when you were just having a fucking hard sections for 6 months or 5 months and 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say the accountability on both of them equally, because you can get pregnant at the age of 20. He know he could get you pregnant at the age of 20. At the age of 20, even if you don't know better, that woman most likely is going to have to raise and nurture that child until it can do it itself. The man sure can move on, but there's a consequence, which is the child support. So if nobody wants to be in that situation, then you have to be responsible and accountable.
Okay, here's another stupid question.
Okay.
After she goes through this ordeal, does she go back to making twerk videos?
I hope not. But 9 times out of 10, if you didn't have sense enough to know that you were going to get fired, then you might chance it again.
So these things are completely unrelated. I'm just making conversation here. The bottom line of it is that in our demographic, with less opportunities in our communities, we have to learn to be smarter, learn from others' mistakes, so we can get a chance at having a successful and prosperous life, right?
That's right. And what you said, I need to throw a little bit more on top of that. Let me put some barbecue sauce on top of your ribs.
Okay.
When he said that when we go through certain things, either we learn that or know that other people from their experience, that's something that a lot of us, I don't know everybody, but this is a thing that helps smarter people not have to repeat the cycles. If somebody like driving, you can go to a driving class. They'll tell you, okay, the reason why you're in this driving class, so you have to go out here and you have to obey the rules and the signs and different things when you're driving, which will help you not have an accident. Just because you hadn't been in an accident, most likely they're going to tell you that other people been in accidents. People have lost their lives, they lost their kids, they may have been put in jail, different things happen. So you don't have to go out there and experience these things to know that they happen.
That's a good example.
It is. And even for me, I was not, 54, but it was people between the age of 30 when I was 20 It was people between the age of 18 when I was 22. It was people that been through a lot of shit in their life that I hadn't experienced. I just was willing to listen to hear their story so that I can know these things can happen and try to avoid them. I don't have to go through life and bump my head 99 times if the man that told me, hey, I bumped my head 50 times, if you do X, Y, Z, you gonna bump your head that many times. And if you hard-headed as fuck and don't listen to me, that's how you got to 100.
So your advice, if you had a 16-year-old daughter or was raising a 16-year-old daughter, would be what at 54 and she's 16?
First of all,
would you monitor her social media? Would you let her? Okay. Would you let her have social media?
No. I think the only way I would let her have social media, like you said, I'm monitoring it, and you can only have XYZ friends on there, because anything else at the age of 16 you don't need. First of all, I'm 100% you don't need social media right now, because you're not old enough to take on the random bullshit that's on there that you're gonna be exposed to. I'm trying to keep you away from grown shit.
You gonna try
as much as I can.
But when that child gets out that front door and gets on the bus stop,
that's right. She gonna jump on social media.
Yeah, she got an app.
And you know I said no, she shouldn't have it.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel. We exposing our children to bullshit that they don't need to be a part of. And even when you have kids, they want to be grown first. They want to be grown before they're grown. They always want to do what everybody else is doing, and they don't understand limits. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I want to do this. I want a cell phone. I want to go over here. I want to do that. This is why we had younger girls and younger boys throughout time sneaking in the club. They just want to be there because they see everybody else doing it or they heard about it. They didn't know the consequences.
So fake ID's been around as long as the clubs had age limits.
That's right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even need a fake ID, because if your ass got a mustache and a beard,
you coming on in.
Yeah, they're gonna let you on in because they want money.
Yeah, little big man, he 12.
Yeah. So when it's all said and done, man, women and men got to get to a point where the things that seem to be, I'm gonna use the term of shiny, that draws up, oh, she got a fat ass, oh, she look good, oh, she a baddie. And the dudes, oh, he got money, he got a little car, he got this, he got that, oh, he look good, you know what I'm saying? We had to get away from what don't really serve us overall. You're picking and choosing people off of shit that does not matter. If he look good, what does that matter? Is he gonna pay the fucking bills? If she got a fat ass, what does that matter? Is she gonna fucking help your children with the homework? We do not pick people off their character. We pick people off shit that make us feel good, and everybody want to stay high.
Okay. Yeah, that's the way. That's human nature.
Yeah,
that's
and
human nature.
We got to get away from that, because the older we get, we done already made mistakes. We got the baby. We done had bad relationships. If you had bad relationships, I don't even know why fucking people got relationships in like high school. You know, that shit should be like just samples. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There
I won't
shouldn't
take
be
back
no
what
relationships.
I said. I won't take back what I said about the human nature. I don't know if it's human nature. I think it's a product of how we grew up.
That's right.
You learn the worst shit first.
Yeah. And we got a lot of people that don't educate the younger people.
Oh yeah,
that's part of it too.
Well, you can't tell them shit.
Yeah.
But when I look, if I was to be fair, when we were younger, we all know people and got relatives and cousins and that you couldn't tell shit to. I remember when I was young, and my uncles was hard headed, and I remember my grandma being up in the middle of the night, and we would be up too. Me and my youngest aunt, we would be up too, because we know grandma gonna bust his ass as soon as he come up in there. So it was the same thing even back then. But just rebellious, man. Just learning, bumping his head 100 times. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did.
Well, a lot of these things, honestly, it's gonna be tough that I'm saying this, but I'm gonna be motherfucking Kevin Sanders right now. You know what I'm saying? It always was those fucking women that didn't have no husbands. Because back in the days, women didn't deal with the hard part of the kids. They just fed them and made sure they were clothed, and when they had problems, they told daddy. Then that shit got straightened out. You know what I'm saying? So once you put a woman in a situation with kids, they know where she's weak at emotionally, and she won't stand on shit. She'll be mad and make moves, but she won't do that on the regular. She'll try to be friendly with them. You know what I'm saying? You got a baby, get your ass out the house. That's the way it used to be back in the day. A man used to put a whole young girl out on the streets with a fucking baby. Just like that.
Yeah, okay, but I don't think that helps either.
It didn't help, but it made the rest of the girls in the house know they ain't finna get pregnant. But once we started catering to that and taking the easy part, then we started having everybody in the house got babies at an early age.
Okay, but then, so you start this conversation off after you get off the plane flight example.
Okay.
Up in the air,
twerk master.
To accountability and responsibility. Okay, so what happens to those girls that are in the house getting pregnant and they got a mama in the house? Are you saying that happened to that girl because the house is led by a female and there's no male there? So what are you saying?
Yes. A certain type of authority does not come with a woman being the leader of the household. This is the reason why if it takes a man and a woman to have a child, it should also, no matter how smart you want to be, or how difficult you want to be, or how hard you want to be, it's going to take a man and a woman to raise the children.
Okay, I'm not going to argue that. But I'm going to play devil's advocate and tell you that there's households where there's a mom and a dad and the child and the daughter or son still brought home a baby.
Well, you know why that happened, don't you?
Why?
Because the fucking man and the woman in there not fucking being together. They fucking arguing with each other and not focus on the kid.
I don't know if that's always the case, man.
That may not be always the case, but if you got the right discipline there, you got the woman and the man together, they either gonna tell that child, hey, we're not going to have you go out here and have a child because we're going to make sure that you understand that you can get pregnant. We see you fraternizing with boys, you know what I'm saying? We know you're a certain age, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The woman got to take on it and the man got to take on it. Then they set down those rules. But if they're bickering with each other, the child slips through the cracks.
Okay. I know for a fact that you have done something against your mom's wishes.
Yeah. Children do that.
Okay, so there's no guarantee.
But you said my mom.
Okay, but if you had a dad that, you probably would have done something too.
I probably would have done less.
Yeah, you probably would have done less.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'll give you that.
So we're not taking away from the fact that children are curious or may take chances. When you have to deal with consequences and you understand there's consequences, you second guess every motherfucking thing you do. When you don't have something you have to think twice on, you just go do it.
In the case of a child, a teenager that came home pregnant, where does the responsibility lie after that child gets there? Is it on that child, the teenager that had the baby? Is that child now part of the responsibility or the sole responsibility of the parents of the teenager? Where does that fall?
What I would say, at least at this particular time in life, because I know it was different ways of looking at things back in the day. Right now, if I had a child and she came in the house and she was pregnant and me and the mom was there, we're going to have to get her to understand 100%. Yeah, you made a mistake. If it was a mistake, we can't do that again. So we're going to make you responsible for your child. We're going to be responsible for making sure you continue to move forward with your life, even if we have to take on some of the responsibility. But we're not gonna sit around here and promote that shit like it's okay. We're gonna make you understand that there's consequences, and you're going to have to stand up to them. You went out and did something that I will put under the category of being grown. You out here fucking and you had a child, so that responsibility is on you. Changing them pampers, going to the doctor's office, appointments, everything that other people do, because you allowed yourself to have a child. Now we're going to stand behind you, but you're going to have to take care of it. So you don't think, well, I want to go to the party, or my baby daddy want to see me, I ain't seen him. Well, what the fuck I care?
It seems now correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
It seems as if accountability, you weigh it differently for a girl than a guy.
No.
Okay.
No. Because if my son had a child and he's at home and he's living off of me, you went out and had a child. I'm taking care of you. So what you think you got to do with your child? I don't give a fuck how old you is. This is just my opinion. I don't care how old you is. Matter of fact, since you may think you still a kid, since you done had a child, and you don't want to take care of that kid because you got the pleasures of fucking, and then you want to ditch out, get the fuck out of my house. Find you somewhere to live, and somewhere maybe to take care of your baby mama or your little coochie on the side. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck you doing, you have put yourself in a position to be responsible for a whole new fucking birth of a human being. So you're going to have to go to school, do whatever you want to do. You ain't going to sit up in here talking about you need some Jordan for your birthday. You know what I'm saying?
And got a baby.
Yeah.
An infant out there.
Yeah. And then you still bullshitting in school or whatever the fuck else you doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it because I'm a man. I do not have to have any motherfucking responsibility for somebody who's not responsible.
I wonder if the law says you do if they under a certain
Well,
age.
if he have to be there for a certain age, he ain't doing shit but going to school, and when he get old enough, get the fuck out. This is making him responsible.
Or aiding in his downfall a little quicker.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was doing my job, we may not even seen that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is the communication you should have with your children, other than what the fuck somebody said round the corner and bullshit that's going in school. Talk to your children like you're trying to make them better people. I ain't your goddamn friend, so we're not gonna be sitting in here talking about little petty shit. Now, mind you, it's a difference between a parent and a child. So a parent should never allow themselves to get past that line where your kid is treating you like they buddy. It should be their authority in conversations and the things you do, even letting them be kids. No, we're not up here talking and ain't no debating and all that other shit.
I'm just asking questions on the other side, but for most everything that you've said, I agree with 100%. It's just that it would be hard for me not to help my child if they had a child, even if they were being irresponsible, because I know how difficult it is out there.
That's true, and I do too. When you feel more like helping him, when you know he may have made a mistake because he went out there, maybe at some point, whatever we done talked about, or they didn't come to me and talk to me about it to begin with, so I can try to navigate their choices a little bit better or help them out, because they still kids. They learning, you know what I'm saying? They experiencing things, and some guys have children on the first time they have sex because they don't know what they doing, you know what I'm saying? So we should have already had that conversation if you get to that age. So at some point, I'm gonna be okay if my son make a mistake and still stand behind him if I realize he's taking certain measures as being responsible And I can see that he ain't just doing it because Fred down the street or little Billy around the corner saying, man, I be knocking these bitches down. I'm clapping them cheeks, but you better clap them cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Then he went out here and just shot up the club, and then he told me, oh, Dad, I got a baby. Yeah, motherfucker, you got a baby.
Yeah.
Not us.
When we wrap this thing up, we done went from
relationships,
from grown people on airplanes twerking down to the possible mistake that a teenage child could make, and it's so much here that we can cover.
Yeah, it is.
It's a whole lot, because responsibility and accountability. I see people my age, our age, that still don't take it.
That's right.
So hey, we're gonna table this one, but this is a good one that we can come back to. Accountability and responsibility for adults, and then how does the parent manage that? You know, but one thing we can't deny that Vic said is the decisions you make, they got consequences. If you're not fully evolved or developed in your brain and your mind about how the world works and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, you could possibly be bit by a fucked up decision like twerking on the airplane. You know what I'm saying?
And I would like to add this before we leave. When you're living your life, and I know we mentioned it once before, if you have friends, you have family, you have co-workers, there's nothing wrong with having conversations with people to help educate yourself. This should be something that you do all the time, just like breathing. If you're functioning and you can think, you shouldn't be a person that could say, ain't no such thing as this, just because you ain't experienced it. You need to seek knowledge every day, all day, and strengthen your thought process and open up, your mind and get outside the box, you know what I'm saying? So that you can educate yourself. You don't have to experience everything. If you just one person compared to all the millions or billions of people in the world, you got to know that there's something outside of what you have learned and what you know at this point. So it's good to talk to people, educate yourself. Don't always be on TikTok and take that computer that you got in your pocket. Think about shit outside of what you know and research that. It's only going to benefit you as a person. And when you do this, I can promise anybody that's listening to me, once you start educating yourself more than what your family and friends know, you will start seeing that they lacking shit. It will show up, and then you'll be heading in the right spot. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to be like some motherfucking right warrior. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna beat everybody's ass because I know so much shit. It's for you to know better so you can make better decisions in life.
Okay. Ambush the game. Question everything you think you know.